Hi, I'm Oliver, principal of the International Macrobiotic School. I've been running courses and giving dietary consultations for about 40 years now, and I really enjoy helping people. I really enjoy helping people alleviate health problems. And what we're looking at now is allergies. Allergies can be a real pain, whether they're respiratory allergies, such as hay fever, caused by pollen or getting reactions to dust and so on, or in the lungs, some forms of asthma come from an allergic response. And then there are also allergies to foods and drinks happening in the gut. It's really possible to change these. It's very strange, at the age I am, I remember 40 years ago when allergies were a rare problem. Now they have become more and more common, and many people are affected by allergies. And there's been a lot of information in the press recently about children developing allergies. Great big increase in babies, small children, older children developing allergies. And from a Western medical point of view, it's not really known why. What is happening with an allergy is that the body thinks it's being attacked, so it sets up an immune response. So whether it's something in the air, which is getting into the body in the nose, sinuses, and lungs, and then the body thinks it's going to be attacked, and the first line of defense is to create inflammation. And the reason for inflammation is there's more blood flow, more white blood cells, which are the part of the immune system protecting the body, can fight bacteria and foreign particles are coming in. But it also creates swelling, maybe more mucus if it's up here, watery eyes, etc. And the same thing in the gut. The proteins of certain foods, gluten is very commonly known to create symptoms, whether it's just an intolerance or an allergy. But a lot of other foods can do as well. Can be certain fruits, peanuts, eggs, quite common. And these can be really serious, and for most people, it's pretty annoying symptoms and maybe painful. But for some people, it can create an anaphylactic shock, which can be fatal. Why is there this really big increase in allergies in modern Western societies? I would say, from my experience of seeing people heal allergies, that the primary cause is the foods that we're eating. Also lifestyle, emotional factors, a range of things can affect allergies, but especially foods we eat. What's in common with the respiratory system and the gut is that there has to be we have a mucous membrane, a damp membrane lining the nose, sinuses, and lungs, and the same in the lining the gut. And what's the same in both is that this layer has to be very thin. First of all, for our body to absorb oxygen through the lungs, and in the gut to absorb nutrients from the gut into the bloodstream, into the lymphatic system. So actually there is just one layer of cells, which is very thin, just one layer of cells, so that these things can get in and out as they need to. But that layer also has to protect the body. It has to keep out all the bacteria, viruses, fungi, foreign particles, etc. So it has to be strong, it has to be a barrier, it has to be like a wall, but it has to have little holes in so the right things can get through. But those holes have got to be not too big so that bigger particles, proteins get through, because then the body thinks it's being attacked and it sets up an immune response, and then we have an allergy happening. So really the question is, why is this mucous membrane becoming weak? Oriental medicine really works on the principle of balance between yin and yang, 5 elements, etc. When the body's in balance, there's strength and also relaxation. There's energy, but also we can sleep and relax. We can focus. We can be spontaneous. Everything is a balance between the two: sodium, potassium, hot and cold, etc. Activity and rest, sleep. Everything is a matter of balance. And in order to enjoy good health, we need to create an internal balance in the body through a balanced lifestyle, and especially through balanced food, because we actually take this food into our body and it then becomes our body. All of this body was once food. It was once whatever you've been eating, rice, beans, fish, sugar, whatever. All of this was once the food that you ate. Has an enormous effect on our body, including on these mucous membranes. So certain foods create more strength in the body. A lot of people kind of, these are kind of more heavy, dense foods to some extent. So a lot of people think of meat, fish, foods like that creating more strength. In some ways they do, although we can definitely overdo them. So I'm not advocating we eat tons of those. But also whole plant foods, that is vegetables, unpeeled carrots, greens, cabbage, etc. Whole grains, not white rice, brown rice, whole beans, seeds, nuts, some fruit, etc. Contain a lot of fiber, and they have structure, and this helps the body. It strengthens the body's structure, including it strengthens the cells and those mucous membranes. Then there are also foods which have a more expansive effect. At first, they relax us. So a little bit of alcohol, tea, coffee, something sweet, some sugary, some fruit. These foods relax us. But if we have too much of them, then the body starts becoming weak. So we see this as well. A lot of people suffering from low energy and chronic fatigue these days. Partly lifestyle, but very much also from eating a lot of these highly processed or ultra processed foods lacking in fiber, a lot of sugar in, go walk down a supermarket aisle, breakfast cereals, canned goods, even tin fish, sugar in nearly everything. Sugar weakens the body, and it also demineralizes and reduces the amount of vitamins in the body. If you do one thing, just give up eating refined sugar in all its different forms. It's like a modern addiction, which is causing so many different health problems. So eating too much of this, what we might perceive as kind of relaxing or more fun foods, caffeinated foods, alcohol, sugary foods, excessively sweet foods, excessively oily foods, even too many fruit sugars from drinking a lot of fruit juice, and especially, or including for if we're living in temperate climate, eating too many tropical fruits, which contain a lot more fructose and fruit sugars. They're much sweeter. That's why mangoes and pineapples and bananas and things are so attractive, because of the sweetness of them. Really not good for allergies and our immune system. If you catch, or your children catch colds easily, this is for the same reason. This protective barrier has become weak. So viruses get into the body much more easily. So if you or your children, it's like if there's a virus going around, you always get it, or they always get it, then you know that this barrier has become weak. If you're pretty resilient, then this barrier is probably stronger. So this is particularly true, I think, with children's foods. If you look at a lot of prepared children's foods, little bottles and packets and sachets and things, and most of them are sweetened, because then us human beings, we're sweet addicts. We're so attracted to sweetness, and this will start weakening your child right from when you first start feeding them. These foods. Even a lot of so-called healthy foods often contain a lot of fruit and yogurt and sweeteners. It might be fructose and dextrose and all kinds of different names for different types of sugar. These are all weakening your children. I raised two children. I've got a daughter and a son, and raised them from well, pre-birth, eating macrobiotically. And when they started eating solid foods, we gave them creamed grains, vegetables, beans, seeds, ground seeds, etc. And they were really happy eating that food. We made all their food, which may seem like a bit tedious, but actually it's really quite simple. And it's really good to know that you're giving your children really good food. So until they were probably about 4 years old, they hadn't eaten any sugar whatsoever. They just eaten whole foods. Of course, when they started going to nurseries and schools and there was sugar around, of course they were attracted, and then their sugar consumption started going up a bit. But by that time, they were used to eating more whole foods, eating more real foods, eating vegetables and grains, etc., which they maintained, which they maintained through their childhood. So even though they, of course, they wanted to experiment with different things, especially as they got older and teenagers, they were still eating these more strengthening whole foods. So baby's food is a bit of a nightmare these days, even a lot of the more kind of healthy ones, which contain a lot of fruit and yogurt and sweeteners and so on. I want to say a little bit about fruit. Is fruit healthy? What the kind of common understanding is, yes, of course, fruit's healthy. Therefore, if we eat more fruit, that's going to make us healthier. That's not right. It's a matter of balance. Fruit has a particular effect. In general, fruit, it's sweet. It contains fruit sugars, maybe around 8 to 15% sugar, fruit sugar. And also fruits generally are soft and watery. So if we eat them, that bit of sweetness and that wateriness, they relax our body. They're nice. But if we eat too much of them, they weaken the mucous membranes in the sinuses, lungs, and also in the gut, lining of the gut. And then that makes us more likely to develop allergies and also a weak immune system. So we can overdo fruit. This is being recognized by the NHS now. If you go onto the NHS website and look at the Eat Well plate, and their recommendations, they're recommending eating maybe a piece of fruit a day, but not a lot of fruit, because you're then getting too many fruit sugars. So the key to healing allergies is to strengthen this mucous membrane, which is going to take time. It's going to take time of making dietary changes. Also for the sinuses and lungs, regular exercise with deep breathing really helps a lot too, because it strengthens the lungs and makes it, when we're exercising, the body contracts, creates more strength in the body. We need to do this for our lungs as well as our muscles. And it's really possible to heal a lot of different allergies. So respiratory allergies, I've seen many, many people heal hay fever and allergies to airborne substances, often having spent thousands of pounds on carpets and cleaners and special vacuum cleaners and all the rest of it. This is more of an internal healing. It can take a year, it can take a couple of years sometimes for people with hay fever, but it's really possible to heal these respiratory allergies. Food allergies, same thing. It can take weeks, months, sometimes longer to really deeply heal. It all depends how severe the allergy is. Generally, if a problem is more severe, it's more kind of deep in the body, there's a bigger imbalance, it takes longer and more consistent practice of healthy eating and living in order to heal it. But it is definitely possible. So it is really possible to get back to a situation where allergies become more of a rare thing. Allergies, why would we be allergic to things in the air, like pollen? Why are 10% of people allergic to pollen in the air? This is bizarre. We've lived in the air ever since, for millions of years. Why suddenly are we developing allergies to pollen in the air, which has always been there? It must be something to do with our diet and modern diet and lifestyle. And that's exactly what it is, as I've described. So we can heal allergies. If you want to know more about how to do this, please check out our website, www.macroschool.co.uk. Check out our cooking classes, where we use food as medicine, how you cook the food. Not only we need to learn how to cook healthy food, not only so it is really tasty and nutritious and gives us strength and relaxation and creates balance in the body, we're also using it to heal. And this is what we're teaching in our classes. So we have online cooking classes here at the school in Devon, in Southwest England, and a whole variety of other courses if you want to go deeper. If you want to really learn this understanding, we run an amazing 5-day course called the Looking After Your Health. We've been running it for 21 years now, 4 times a year. People keep coming and coming, and they find it a great way to turn their health around. Or if you really want to go on a deep healing journey, we run a 1-year holistic nutrition and cooking course, which people find gives a lot of good information, a lot of cooking, a lot of exercises and so on, to really establish a much healthier way of eating and living. If we can be of help, please do get in touch, and thanks for listening.